Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News. It's a time machine episode for January 9th, 2025. I am Merwad. I run ohmtown.com. I was unavailable yesterday. I may be today as well, or tomorrow, since it's a time machine episode, mainly because I think I'm losing my voice. Today, I'm going to be talking about these 10 articles. The sentient AI isn't available either. We're going to start out talking about bluefin tuna for 1.3 million goldfish. It's a lot of cheddar. LA fires impact Fallout Season 2. Wyoming dinosaurs. Career catfishing. Check your surfboard. Wicked subway singer. Yakuza nuke material. Tesla directors are villains. Cabin crew might let you sleep. And don't eat your Christmas trees. Come on. You can, but don't. That and more, powered by ohmtown.com. Please go over and subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell, follow on Twitch, download the podcast, leave a 5-star review, or leave a review. That would be appreciated. Anything, really. And there's a TikTok, but I haven't been doing much there. There's the Patreon and Discord. But we're mostly spending time here on Twitch and YouTube, so be sure to follow us in both of those locations. As soon as we go live, then you get an alert, but that's all we ever do. We don't, spam you with a bunch of other stuff. Unless we do multiple shows, then you get notices for each show that we do. And we do 3 on Saturday and 3 more on Sunday. They're all different. And we might be doing the tonight or tomorrow, since this is a time machine episode, tomorrow's show. On Saturday. It's roundabout. It makes sense. Anyway, everything's powered by ohmtown. All right, folks, let's get into the first article for today. I always like these articles because they start out with a massive bluefin tuna, the size of a motorcycle, as if we're supposed to understand the size of a motorcycle, sells for $1.3 million at a Japanese fish market. It's kind of like one of those Chinese surveillance blimp is the size of 3 buses. If you want all of today's show notes, you can actually, in the chat over on Twitch, you can type in ! or bang NSN, which is Non Sequitur News. Over on YouTube, it's already in the show notes for the live broadcast, and it will be on the archived VOD over on YouTube as well. It'll be in the show notes. Eventually, it'll get ported over to the podcast as well, and so we actually ended up missing a few episodes. Mainly because my mayoral duties kept me from even going back and fixing it. But anyway, we've been doing the show now for 4 years. This is the start of the 4th season. We're on episode 9. Hopefully I'll be able to save my voice and do a show tonight or on the 10th as well. All right. So why should we know what a motorcycle size dimensions are? Anyway, the fish weighed 608 pounds, which is also about the same size as an adult male grizzly bear, which, again, apparently an adult male grizzly bear is the same as a motorcycle. But it doesn't make any sense until I know how many Chinese surveillance blimps it is in terms of buses so that I can triangulate the hypotenuse. Anyway, $1.3 million at a Japanese fish market. It garnered the second highest bid at the Toyosu market since records began in 1999. The article's over at Smithsonian Magazine or smithsonianmag.com. Sarah Kuda put the article together, and there it is. Sans tail. Oh no, the tail is right there. Oh God, that just seems really demeaning. Like, just... How would you like that? Anyway, so the Onodera Group, a Michelin star Japanese sushi restaurant chain, placed the winning bid for the massive fish. Okay, so it's $1.3 million it weighs 608 pounds. How many fillets or fillets do you think somebody can get out of a 608 pound fish? So on Sunday, a Pacific bluefin tuna sold for 1.3 million US dollars, or 207 million yen, at the market's first auction of 2025. It's the second highest, when a 2019 612 pound tuna sold for 3.1 million. Oof. So they paid nearly three times as much for a fish that weighed only 4 pounds more. Maybe it was spectacular. It was snapped up by the Onodera Group, a Michelin-starred Japanese sushi restaurant, which seems minimizing, I should say. How many stars? The number of stars actually translates directly into the price, but not necessarily quality. Haha. A lot of that, as you move up, apparently, into higher stars, it becomes more of an experience, not just the meal itself, but the atmosphere and the event that goes on around it. I've never really aspired to going to a Michelin-starred restaurant, but after watching some of the events that others have gone through, I find it kind of fascinating and would like to try it at least once. But I don't know. So the first tuna of the year is something meant to bring in good fortune. Shinji Nagao, the president of the restaurant group, told reporters after the auction, per the agency France Presse, our wish is that people will eat this and have a wonderful year. So Onodera Group, which has eateries in Japan, China, and the United States, says that it's now won the prize tuna of Toyosu Market's first auction 5 years in a row, as well as in 2018. I'm not sure what that means. So missed it in 2019 because they weren't going to shell out $3.1 million for a 612 pound tuna. Anyway, a 73-year-old fisherman named Masahiro Takeuchi caught the enormous fish on a long line on Saturday morning. He was fishing near the town of Oma in northern Japan's Aomori prefecture. So it was fat as a cow, Takeuchi told reporters. Right on. Cool. Well, good for them. I wonder how much they're actually... So they reeled in... Okay, so in 2022, they reeled in more than 800,000 pounds of fish, which earned them more than $2.2 million. The ceiling was raised during the 2-year period covering 2022 and 2023, when they were capped at 2.2. How much money does that person get? So Pacific bluefin tuna are large. Yeah, we get that. Does it say? Yeah, I don't know how much they actually get to take home. All right. Well, we can't spend too long. We only get an hour to do the Time Machine episode. So let's go move on to the next article. This next article is over on the WarCrafters channel, which is one of our shows that we do on the weekends. It's on Sunday, so... We do 3 shows on Sunday and 3 shows on Saturday. And the 3 shows on Sunday are WarCrafters, Technology Today, and 4-Wheel Tech. Those get merged together and become Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition for Sunday. And then on Saturday, we do 3 other shows, starting with... what are they now? So RealityHacker, Wanted, and the Continuity Report. So sorry for my little blackout there. Anyway, this next article is over on WarCrafters, and it is Fallout Season 2 filming has been delayed due to massive LA fires, and they are hugely destructive financially and the lives of people. Some of these houses are like $30 million, and they're going up in smoke, but literally going up in smoke. And some 10,000 plus structures in one area, and 4,000 in another area, and it's just a nightmare for everybody. and wish them all the best. What really sucks is that a lot of them may not have had insurance because the insurance companies valued profit over people, much like health insurance companies. So at some point you become a burden to investors, and while they're making money on you being sick, or in the case of insurance overall, as long as you pay the premiums and nothing happens, they have no problem taking your money. But as soon as something does happen, then suddenly actuarial tables pop up out of nowhere, and you become a problem. So, yeah, troubling indeed, right? I mean, if you're not a sociopath, then you kind of have a problem with that bullshit. Anyway, so production of the second season of the Amazon series Fallout, along with numerous other shows, have been delayed by the massive wildfires in LA County. Deadline, which this isn't from, this is aggregated from PC Gamer. Deadline had reported that work on the series was slated to resume on January 8th, but Film LA via GameSpot, so Deadline, Film LA, GameSpot, PC Gamer, all chomped at this pie. Says that the LA County Fire Department has withdrawn all permits for filming in Altadena, La Crescenta, La Canada, Flint Ridge, and unincorporated Pasadena, and warned that permits in other areas could be revoked and probably would be revoked. CNN even made comment about this. But Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com is the source for this article. Production was expected to begin on January 8th, so 2 days ago. I've been watching some of this stuff, and I think it's just horrendous, and I wish them a fast recovery, but some of these fires as of this afternoon are only 8% or 3% contained, which is nothing, and flare-ups can be anywhere. And I saw a video earlier today, this morning, really early, I think it was like 5 o'clock this morning, that purports to be somebody getting caught, possibly lighting a fire in another region. So I hope that is a mistake and just misperceived as something, but these fires came up out of nowhere, and obviously it can happen. So forensically, I'm sure that there's an investigation already underway trying to find the source of the initial spark of this. Like Hawaii, there was a power line or something like that that sparked or re-sparked or something, and that became a conflagration. So CNN says that Palisades fire has now grown to more than 17,000 acres with zero containment, while the Eaton fire has surpassed 10,000 acres. At least 5 people have died, and nearly 2,000 homes, business structures, and other structures have been destroyed. Other significantly smaller but still largely uncontained fires are also burning, and roughly 130,000 people are under evacuation orders. While I was watching somebody else that was streaming yesterday, an alert went out saying that they needed to evacuate, and it was a mistake. And then they got a notice saying, no, you don't have to evacuate. But it's because there's a technology issue related to broadcasts that, so the phones don't care what you can be in a region and catch the signal that says that you have to evacuate if you're in the region of that broadcast tower. So it doesn't discriminate between if you need to be evacuated or not. If you are in that region, then and sometimes, this is the weird part about it, apparently it can bleed over into another region because the signal will carry. Thought it was an interesting issue. So people were spooked that they had to evacuate, only to be told that they didn't need to evacuate and to check a website. Yeah. And then they got some flack. At least the administration received some flack in California during a press conference by some people that, just outraged. They have to be outraged. It can't be outrage sells. So that's what happens. So, Variety cited numerous other shows have paused production because of the fires, including Hacks, NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, Jimmy Kimmel, Abbott Elementary. Filming of Fallout was tentatively set to resume on Friday. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over about Wyoming. It's in the Mobile channel. 230 million year old fossil found in Wyoming rewrites dinosaur history. Paleontologists out of the University of Wisconsin-Madison made a discovery that changes everything we know about the early history and migrations of dinosaurs across Pangaea. And it's all thanks to the fossilized remains of a chicken-sized dinosaur found in Wyoming. That's a McDonald's new kids meal, chicken-sized dinosaur nuggets. That's not true, but I thought it was kind of funny. Oh, wow. I don't know why that is that. For those listening to the podcast, that's a blue band, but for whatever reason, it's showing something. Oh, it's showing as a green screen, but it's not. It's not supposed to be. Weird. Anyway, I'm wearing a green shirt under this, and I feel like unbuttoning my shirt just so that I can show everybody that I'm just a hologram, really. I'm kind of like the sentient AI, just not sentient. So the beauty of science is that we can all believe one thing thanks to one discovery, and then discover something and completely rewrite the book. And it's not believe one thing. There is no believing in science. You can have an opinion about something, but science is fact, right? You can suspect that something is one way or another, but belief is not part of it. Okay. I think that needs to be dispelled, and the lexicon for that, it needs to be removed from any article that throws belief into science. So Louis Prada over at Vice.com put this article together, and the prevailing understanding that dinosaurs first appeared in the southern part of the Pangaea supercontinent and then spread northward millions of years later is being thrown into question, with paleontologists now wondering if dinosaurs were roaming the northern regions of Pangaea a whole lot earlier than previously thought. Belief is ephemeral, right? It's a nebulous, largely inconsistent, I don't know, theoretical whatever, and doesn't belong in science. So you can suspect that something is a certain way. So the prevailing evidence supported that dinosaurs first appeared in the southern part, and then new evidence came forward. Okay. Radioisotopic dating reveals that the fossils to be around 230 million years old. It's a new dinosaur species called Avedum bonduveci in Wyoming back in 2013, publishing their findings in Zoological Journal of the Linnean Society, which sounds like a whimsical children's fantasy series that will get darker as the series goes on. I agree. This little chicken-sized dinosaur might be small, but could be the early relative of the sauropod, a group of massive long-necked dinos, including species like the Brachiosaurus. Its age, coupled with its presence in Wyoming, suggests that it emerged in both hemispheres of Pangaea at nearly the same time, instead of the previously held belief. Yeah. The previously understood framework of knowledge that suggested it slowly moving northward from the south. Pretty cool. All right, let's keep on going, though. I am losing my voice, it seems, so let's see if I can make it through the whole show. The next article is over in the Hatch Ideas channel, which is all about business transformation, intellectual property development, and strategic management. Career catfishing. 1 in 3 Gen Zers accepted a new job and didn't show up on day one. A new report out of the UK shows that some Gen Z new hires are pulling a disappearing act on day one. David James over at entrepreneur.com put the article together, and it says here that CV Genius polled 1,000 British workers about a myriad of work-related issues and found that these surprising stats on a workplace disappearing or never appearing acts. 1 in 3 Gen Zs, 34%, have accepted a job that never showed up and offered no explanation. This move has been termed career catfishing. 1 in 4 millennials, or 24%, 11% of Gen X, and 7 of boomers have engaged in this. It's not quite as bratty as it sounds, says Chloe Berger of Fortune. At the moment, Gen Z is contending with an onerous battle to land an entry-level full-time role. The class of 2025 is set to apply to more jobs than the graduating class prior, already submitting 24% more applications on average this past summer than seniors did last year. Yeah, because the economy's doing so good and there's so many opportunities out there. Automation, robots, AI, technology, it's not usurping humans' ability to make money, live a life. No, none of that. So here's some other surprising results of CV Genius's survey of UK workers. Bare minimum Mondays, 59% say they put in minimum effort on the start of the week, aiming to avoid burnout. Overemployment, 41% of Gen Zs said that they worked multiple remote jobs simultaneously without telling employers, which, depending on the field you're in, could get you fired because you're not allowed really to double dip during time. If you have time to work on multiple jobs, then you're not 100% dedicated to your employer, but your employer isn't 100% dedicated to you. That ship has sailed a long time ago. And then remote rewards, 53% said that they would choose to work remotely over in office, even if it meant no chance of promotion or higher pay. So yeah, I can see that. I mean, the pandemic basically proved that we have the ability to be effective and efficient in a remote venue instead of having to drive, losing hours of your life every week only to sit in a chair, which is no different than you sitting in a chair here. And if I can work with people around the world and I can sit there and stream to the world and people can watch videos and I mean, I ask people to do programming and graphic design and music generation, audio generation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. We all get it done. Why do we have to go to an office? It's the most batshit concept. Oh, well, it's for camaraderie. It's for building teams, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it says more about you than me that you can't build a team even in a remote setting. Well, I don't need to be your best friend in an office. I need everybody to be on time, effective, efficient. And I would rather somebody have a more casual workplace at home around their loved ones and their pets and their resources and so on and so forth. So that they get the job done. And if they do 8 hours worth of work in 4 hours and they're done, so be it. If I assign them 8 hours worth of work, that's 8 hours worth of work. If they get it done in 4 hours, they deserve a damn bonus. They don't deserve more work. So how much work costs. How much work costs in time as well. And time is money, friend. So assign 8 hours worth of work to somebody. They'll do 8 hours. And if it only takes them 4 hours, like I said, you should pay them double, damn it. They're getting more work done in a shorter amount of time, but then let them live their life. You pay them well so that they do great work. You don't pay them well so that you can drill them into the freaking ground until they're a soulless, empty husk that you've burnt out, and you sit there and go, yeah, I made more money off of them. And we'll get into that because, well, it's an ongoing issue. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over on the Mobile Channel. Hawaiian Airlines will not, and the next, look around, folks. The next 4 years are going to be fascinating. As a psychological experiment, as an economic experiment, I certainly believe that the rise of sociopathy has never been higher than it is now. With maybe one exception, but I won't go into that. And I wasn't around and I haven't peered back, but that's damn near psychopathy, animalistic behavior, what I'm referring to. But nowadays, right now, in the last 20 years, 30 years, maybe even 40 years, we're on the precipice of 40 years. I think sociopathy has never been more prevalent. Anyway, this next article is over in the mobile channel. Hawaiian Airlines will now let you check your surfboard in as luggage. Hawaiian Airlines is increasing its flexibility towards the items that passengers bring on its planes. The company announced Wednesday that flyers will be able to bring their surfboards and bicycles as checked luggage. Not carry-on? Come on. How am I supposed to surf the friendly skies? So Melvin Beckman over at Quartz or QZ.com put the article together. The carrier is trying to cater to customers who enjoy the island's many ocean and land-based activities. Melvin Beckman again over at Quartz.com. So yeah, it's increasing its flexibility towards items that passengers bring on its planes. So now I can bring my grenade. No, I'm just kidding. My emotional support grenade. The company announced Wednesday that flyers will be able to bring their surfboards and bicycles as checked luggage. Hawaii is synonymous with surfing and many ocean and land-based activities that draw visitors from around the world, said Sandra Wang, a product manager at the airline. A product manager? Is that what it is? I mean, allowing checked luggage as a product? That's weird, right? Is it just me that thinks that's weird? Anyway, we're excited to extend this new benefit to our visitors in Kama'aina so they can enjoy their favorite sports and hobbies while exploring Hawaii and anywhere they travel in our network, including Asia, Oceania. I always think that's a weird word to say, Oceania. And the U.S. continent. The U.S. continent. All right. Anyway, the new policy comes on the heels of significant regulatory and congressional scrutiny of airline policies that make flying more complex and expensive proposition than it used to be. Checked baggage. The usual $40 fee applies for mainlanders who aren't flying first class because you poors have to pay nickel and dime, right? Meanwhile, first class, I can just bring my surfboard right onto that first class seating, and I can fully recline it, and they can just go to sleep. Plus, it's leashed to me, so it's not going anywhere. Anyway, Hawaiian Airlines also used the sports equipment announcement to tout a new initiative called Huakia by Hawaiian. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Huakai, I think it. Yeah, there we go. Huakai by Hawaiian. That will allow residents of the islands to fly between the islands with a free checked bag, which now means that they can bring their surfboards for free. Right on. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Internet obsessed with Subway singer performing Wicked on New York Street. Defying Gravity is widely considered one of the most challenging musical numbers, but that didn't perturb Raquel Raines from putting on a show under the E1. The article is over at newsweek.com by Alice Collins. I won't be able to play it because I'll probably get smashed by a DMCA takedown notice. But a New York City subway performer has taken the internet by storm with her extraordinary covers of everything from Moana, Miley Cyrus, and even Wicked. Needless to say, she could rival Cynthia Erivo with her unbelievable high notes. Raquel Raines, 37, has spent 5 years traveling to the subway underneath the 7 train in Sunnyside, Queens, where she puts on an unforgettable show. 5 years before she was discovered, though. When she starts singing, people can't help but listen as she serenades them with her impromptu performances. Singing live always feels special, as Raines told Newsweek. That allows her to connect with people in a raw and spontaneous way. And it may look like an ordinary subway to most people, but for Rains, it's their very own stage. So I'll go and listen to this after the show, but she's performed songs from Disney films, including Moana, or covered songs by Miley Cyrus, Celine Dion, Justin Bieber. Indeed, she recently transported her audience to the Land of Oz with her beautiful rendition of Defying Gravity from Wicked. Yeah, I would love to be able to play this, but the draconian concept of playing a snippet incidental to what is actually being discussed. This is just, we may be talking about it, but playing a little bit of it and then talking about it and then playing a little bit more of it and talking about it would be construed as a violation. Unless I sit there and argue, I'd have to file paperwork, basically legally binding paperwork with YouTube and any other authority that basically says, hey, you got to take it down. And it's frustrating as hell. I wanted to spin up a whole show called Mix War, but even stuff that I created became a problem. So anyway, not sure what all is going to happen with Rains. Rains told Newsweek they received so many beautiful, encouraging comments that keep them going. It's incredible to see people from all over the world connect with their videos and share how their music brings them joy. So I hope that they find, I guess the acoustics are pretty good under the E. So while the dingy underside of the E1 subway might not seem like the ideal spot to sing in public, Rains has always viewed it as a natural acoustic playground. She loves the reverb and the freedom she has to truly challenge herself. So good on her. I'm not sure what all is going to happen, but maybe she'll be discovered. But it's one of those things where I go, gosh, there is so much talent out there. I would love to be able to highlight it and talk about it and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's some people that seem to be able to get away with it. But I had a commercial, an ad for Netflix playing right there, right there on the inside the browser, and I got a notice that I had violated their copyright. And all it was an ad that was playing for a show, and I was talking about the show. So, yeah. All right, let's go on. The next one is pretty fascinating. This next article is over on the Mobile Channel. A photogenic Yakuza boss pleads guilty to trying to sell nuclear material. Takeshi Ibisawa is done posing with rocket launchers. He's facing a lifetime in federal custody after pleading guilty to multiple guns, weapons, and nuke charges. So this isn't a game. Matthew Galt over at Gizmodo.com put this article together. The deck statement says what I just got done saying. When he posed with a rocket launcher for a photo this year, he basically entered the... Okay, let me start this over. The article starts out with, in February of last year, Japanese Yakuza leader Takeshi Ibisawa entered our hearts when he posed with a rocket launcher for a photo. I don't know if he entered our hearts. This year, he'll be entering federal prison after pleading guilty to attempting to sell weapons-grade plutonium, drugs, and weapons to undercover federal agents. According to the Justice Department, Ibisawa is part of a large-scale criminal network that spanned Japan, Thailand, Burma, Sri Lanka, and the United States that moves drugs and weapons across Southeast Asia. Ibisawa was a known entity to the feds who set up a sting operation to catch him. So I guess not too on the ball. I would be very, very reluctant, but I guess, these agents are there. What is it? There was a movie about trying to find a sniper, and they were checking to see which snipers to get, and there was like a sniper right underneath the people, right at the feet of the people, and he just stood up, and they're like, how did you get so close? And he's like, because I'm a sneaky bastard, sir. And I'm trying to remember what movie that's from. Oh God, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, Ibisawa claimed that he had 2,000 kilograms of thorium-232, more than 100 kilograms of uranium, in its yellow cake form. He promised that he could get another 5 tons of nuclear material from his contacts in Burma. He provided samples, and when the feds tested it, they found that Ebisawa did indeed have weapons-grade nuclear material. So now they know that and the whole world knows that in Burma there is weapons-grade material, perhaps. Now it's probably not there anymore. It's probably been moved, but he pleaded guilty on all 6 counts against him: conspiracy to traffic nuclear materials, actually trafficking the nuclear materials, money laundering, and 3 charges related to the drugs and firearms. A judge will determine sentencing, but the weapons charge alone carries a life sentence. Wow. Let's see. In 2023, it reported 168 incidents in 31 states and said that it was in line with historical averages, but the nuclear power industry is growing. So the IAEA, which recorded only 4,243 incidents of illegal activities involving nuclear material since 1993. Holy crap, man. Seems like a lot. All right, let's keep going. We have 3 more articles. The next article is over in Late Night Geeks, and it's titled Tesla Directors to Pay Up to $919 million to Settle Claims they overpaid themselves. A Delaware judge has approved a settlement that will see Tesla directors, including Chair Robin Denholm, Oracle founder Larry Ellison, Kimball Musk, James Murdoch, return up to $919 million to the automaker, officially resolving allegations that they overpaid themselves per Reuters. But billionaires aren't. Nearly $1 billion that they overpaid themselves, they say. The settlement concludes a 2020 lawsuit by the police and fire retirement system of the city of Detroit that challenged director compensation from 2017 to 2020 as excessive. The directors will have to pay back stock and options worth up to $735 million and forego 3 years of pay allegedly worth $184 million. Chancellor Kathleen McCormick, the judge overseeing the case, also awarded $176 million in fees and costs to the 3 firms that brought the case to court on a contingency basis, meaning that they would only be paid if they won. Tesla has asked McCormick to cap that fee at $64 million. Wow. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that this is all villain level compensation. Greedy bastards, really. Anyway, the next article is over in Non Sequitur News, but you don't have to follow me. I am just giving my opinion and the news. You don't have to agree with me, but I hope that you listen. I would listen to anything that you have to say as well. We may not agree, but I'm sure that there is some common ground in there somewhere. If everybody is, authentic about it. Sometimes I run up against sociopaths, though. Anyway, don't leave sleeping passengers on planes after flights land. American Airlines union reminds cabin crew, if you fall asleep, you may end up in another country. American Airlines flight attendants were sent a union memo about leaving passengers on empty planes. The AFPA said cabin crew members should check lavatories and under seats for sleeping passengers. A union spokesperson said it routinely issued such reminders to members. The Union for American Airlines flight attendants is issuing a memo reminding them to don't leave any people on the plane. Seems kind of straightforward, right? Pete Sim over at BusinessInsider.com put the article together. And it says here that this communication serves as a reminder for flight attendants to complete required post-flight security checks to ensure all passengers have deplaned upon arrival. They actually found somebody in an overhead compartment once. People asleep in the back of the plane, but nobody checked in that back corner, whatever that back corner was. They added that the union routinely releases communications reminding flight attendants about these checks. Leaving a passenger on an empty plane is not only a security concern, but it can also violate safety rules that mandate a minimum number of flight attendants per passenger. So if there's one, there's got to be somebody. I mean, there's usually rules about unauthorized people in a location. A passenger on a plane by themselves is an unauthorized personnel location. Anyway, in 2019, an Air Canada passenger woke up alone on a cold and dark plane. Tiffany O'Brien said that she fell asleep on the 90-minute flight from Quebec City to Toronto and woke up hours later after the plane had been parked. It's a hell of a sleep. Flying the friendly skies of unconsciousness, I suppose. The last article for today's Time Machine episode is over in the Mobile Channel. Belgian authorities to the public. Please don't eat your old Christmas trees. Excuse me. It says you cannot recycle your tree with your stomach. So I learned a while back that you can actually eat a pine tree. Lucas Ropek over at Gizmodo.com put the article together. And it says that it's that unfortunate time of the year when we have to dispose of our beloved Christmas trees. This can be a rather grim ritual. What was once a beauteous, glistening spectacle of green conifer needles and glowing white and red baubles is commonly tossed out in the street with yesterday's trash like some sort of poorly disposed corpse. Whoa, that went dark, man. Dear God. They're still green. A little brownish. Anyway, or if you're from Belgium, you may literally be devouring your tree in some sort of misguided effort to recycle it. So yes, the Belgian government is issuing a PSA, don't eat your tree. They're not intended to end up in the food chain. There's a difference between using needles from pristine nature and needles from trees specifically grown for Christmas and to be decorated at home. Not sure what that difference is. Recently suggested, the reason authorities were forced to make this declaration is that the government of Ghent, a city in the northern part of the country, recently suggested that residents use the leftover needles from their trees to make delicious spruce needle butter, which can be eaten with toast and other baked goods. A webpage promoting the reuse of the holiday resources encourages locals to pick the needles off their old trees and immerse them in boiling water. As soon as the needles are dry, you can make delicious spruce needle butter for bread or toast, calling the process a piece of cake and a way to ensure that your Christmas tree is not 100% waste. The problem with broiling your old Christmas tree needles is that many have been intensively sprayed with various pesticides. Also, some types of trees are inherently poisonous. Yeah, you have to be careful. So the push to make people eat their own Christmas trees was dreamed up by the city's climate team, which was looking for ways to promote sustainability and recycling. But hold on a second. I need to verify something. Okay. You can eat the young pollen and seed cones. Cones, seeds, needles, pollen, and even bark in some instances are edible. It's just not something that you don't just go out and start chomping on it though. So anyway, don't do it. It's silly. Anyway, there you go, folks. Belgian authorities to the public, please don't eat your old Christmas tree. And with that in mind, we're going to toss ourselves out, and that's going to land us at the front page of ohmtown.com. And the time machine is going to shut down. We're going to rejigger, and if I feel that my voice isn't going to die entirely, then we'll do the show tonight. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow afternoon for a Time Machine episode of Non Sequitur News and Reality Hacker, Wanted, and the Continuity Report. So Reality Hacker is all about AI, VR, XR, actually extended reality, AR, VR, AI. Wanted is all about gadgets and gear and stuff that I want and sentient AI wants. And if anybody has submitted articles, that'll get included, and it's what somebody else wants that we find really interesting. And then finally, the Continuity Report is entertainment news about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So stick around. We'll see you then. All right, I'm out. I am Mayor Watt saying bye.